Yeah, g'day. Here to tell you a little bit of information about this box drum that I'm sitting on. It's a fantastic instrument, very versatile. You can use it as a piece of furniture in your house, and you can also use it as a drum. Now, the generic name for the instrument is called a cajon, and that's spelt C-A-J-O-N, cajon, and it stems from the Spanish word caja, meaning box or drawer. So that's where its origins are from. It's Latin. Some people say that it came from Peru. Others say from maybe Cuba. It's been used in Spain for many years as an accompaniment to flamenco guitar. So you've probably heard it there. But this one's a rock box. It's quite different from a lot of other cajons. They're all different, but this one in particular is tuned up for the individual drummer. So this one I'm playing has a snare on the right side, just here, and it's positioned there so that I can actually dampen the snare when I'm hitting the bass and get clarity and definition of the tones, of the different tones of the drum. So I'll just give you a quick demonstration about what I mean about that. So if I hit the bass, and there's a sweet spot in the bass somewhere, you've got to find it, because wherever you move your hand you're going to get a different tone. So you just got to move your hand around a little bit and find out where that sweet bass note is. And you'll notice you can't hear much snare there because I'm dampening it with the other hand. So there's your kick drum. And then on the other side, on my right hand, I've got the snare, which is like a normal drum snare, set up with a certain amount of tension on the front diaphragm, so you get this sharp, crisp snare sound. And with a cajon, you want a sharp, crisp snare sound. You don't want any rattles or little wires tingling off into the distance. You want to get nice, crisp notes. So there you've got your bass, your kick, and your snare drum, which is the basis for most rock and roll music. You got that kick, snare, kick, snare. So they're the basic notes of the cajon, or in my cajon, this one here, is that kick snare, because this one's made for rock and roll. But you will notice, I'll go into the intricacies of the cajon. Wherever I move my hands, I'm going to get a different note. So if I move my bass hand closer to the center of the drum, I'll get a slightly different tone of bass, maybe a bit flatter and a bit deeper. And as I move it out to the side, the tone gets brighter. And with the snare also, if I move it, I'll just take this little attachment off. If I move the snare over and move my hand towards the side, I find I get less snare, and then as I'm coming back in towards the center of the drum, I get more snare. So I can decide what type of snare I want. Do I want a crisp, dry snare, not much snare at all, or a nice full drum snare? So that's the basic kick and snare sound. I'll just replace this position. Now this little attachment here is on quite a few cajons, and it acts like a rim shot, like you're hitting your drumstick on the rim of your kit. So it just gives a high-pitched, sharp little tone where you can get that just a little added variation on the cajon. Still simple, easy to carry, no little bits and pieces that you have to lug around with you. I'll talk to you a little bit about choking the cajon with your foot. because it's not only a drum, but it's a talking drum. Using your foot to choke the drum and change the pitch of the drum. So I'll give you a quick demonstration of what I mean. I've got this basic rock beat. And now I'm going to bring my foot in. So it's working like a capo almost on a guitar. You're changing the length of the diaphragm and the pitch of the note. So if you start up high with your foot on the top of the cajon, you get a very high pitched sound. In the middle, further down, and right down the bottom, if you put your foot, you'll get most of the bass. Okay, so some drums you can hit on the side as well. This one in particular is more of a snare drum for rock and roll, funk, bluesy, groovy sort of stuff. So it's not really designed for hitting on the side, but amplified you can get quite a nice tone on the side. But generally speaking, this drum's, the main playing panel is on the front, and you can get a hell of a lot of different variations of tones and pitches by using your foot and alternate dampening with your hands. Okay, there's a lot of different styles and variations in the cajon. This one over here has a feedback buster in the back. And it's just a piece of foam that stops the boominess when you're amplifying it. Because it's like a speaker, you get quite a lot of feedback if you put a mic inside this. So this is a way of combating that, and it's this has, I'll just take it out, it's got a baffle in here that allows me to quickly put a piece of foam in and dampen it, dampen the sound. And I take it out, and you can see this. It's got an adjustable baffle in there, and also up here I've got a Rode M1 mic inside the rock box. So that makes it really convenient. I just plug into that and put this piece of foam back in, and away I go. I'm ready for ready to whack it through an amp and play to tens of thousands of people. So there's that. This one here also has a hardwood top. I should have mentioned the timbers. There's so many different timbers that you can make a cajon out of. This one's made out of cedar, marine ply cedar. This one here it's cedar on the front, the sides, the back, but on the top it's got Australian eucalypt. There's many different types of brands of cajon. Cajon is the generic name of the instrument. You can go and look on Google, or most of the major drum places have, most of the major drum manufacturers have a cajon. That's pretty well all the information I have.
That's great. Can you play a bit so I can try these mics out?
I will. I'll try a bit, Paul. And just try and get in my groove. So I'm just going to feel for the sweet spots. I've got my arms, I should say when I'm sitting on this, I like to splay my legs out quite a little bit too. And so I can get to the whole face of the drum. Lean back, as I said before, to get down to that bass note. So it's splayed, lean back, find the sweet spot. Forgot to mention economy of movement, really important. Now, economy of movement is keeping your hands nice and close to the drum. You take your hands too far away from the drum, you've got to get them back on there. So if you want to get a nice quick tempo with the drum, it's best to keep your hands nice and close and just use your fingertips. Traditional cajon playing, you would use more your palm of your hands like this method. I can't really do it, but it's more of a palm, a whole hand on the drum. But with this particular type of drum, it's more fingertips and light. So here's the demo.